Hello, Louise. How are you? Good to see you. I see someone else hopped on also. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see if any more people hop on. Glad you're well. I am good, thank you. Yes. Last week, so I've been back from my vacation just over a week and kind of getting through my list of things to do. I had a long list when I got back, but yes, getting through everything and excited to be here. Just get a little drink here. I was making my projects for today up to the last minute, so I didn't have time to have my second cup of coffee, so I'll have that afterwards. Let's see, where is everybody today? Come join us, everyone. Let us know who's here, where you're from, what you're up to today. So I'm very happy because the weather's starting to finally cool down and I can put my comfy fall and winter clothes on, which are my favorite. So I've got my plaid shirt on today, so nice and cozy. And it's a lovely fall morning. All right, well, no one else is chit-chatting. Everyone's just hanging out. So I think I will go ahead and get started. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you if you're live with me today, and thank you if you're watching on the replay. I appreciate that. So I'm on Facebook and YouTube today. So I hope you're all well, having a great week and getting some crafting in. As I was saying, here in Sacramento, we're finally getting some nice cool weather. I think fall is finally here and all the trees are starting to turn colors. So I'm excited about that because this in the spring is kind of my favorite time of year when it's, we can have the windows open all day and we don't have to really run the air conditioning or the heating, although it's a little chilly at night. At the moment, but so enjoying this time of year. So hope you are too, wherever you are. So I have a fun project today and a really quick and easy one based on one of the items that we made in our team meeting on Monday evening. We have a team meeting once a month and it was Monday. So let me switch to my camera that's facing down to my desk and I'll show you the projects we made and then what we're going to make today. So let's see here. Whoops, I'm a bit skewed here. Let's see if I can fix my lighting. I've got a new phone and see it's kind of wanting to move. Whoops, hold on just a second. It's got a magnet on the back. My other one I used to have a magnet case. There we go, I think that's all right. Let's see if it's gonna move. It's moving slightly, isn't it? I might have to do something different for next time. We'll see how we do. Anyway, let me show you the projects that we made in our team meeting first. So it was all featuring the Gnome suite. So that's the paper. I'll show you that in a moment. But here are the projects. So we made this card here, which is kind of like a fun fold, but an easy fun fold. It opens like this, and then you've got the inside. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. and wishing you all the beautiful gifts of Christmas. So that one. And then, let me see if I can switch my light a bit more. I am just kind of moving here. Not quite sure why. And then we did this one, a little slimline card. And I'll show you kind of how the cards were made a little bit. I'm not going to show you how to make them, but I'll talk about them a little bit. And then this card. So this has a fun little pocket envelope, and then it opens to reveal this cute little card inside. Warm wishes. And this is cut from the designer series paper. So when we do our team meeting projects, I try to do projects that if my team don't have the bundle, so this time it was the Kindest Gnomes bundle. If they don't have the bundle, they can still make the cards, and they'll just find their own sentiments to use from another sentiment set. Hi Margaret, good to see you. So there was this one, and show you the last one, and then this cute little treat holder, and this is what we're going to make today, but a different version. So the paper is really great because let me scoot these to one side just a second and talk about the gnomes for just a minute. So this is the gnomes bundle. This is the stamp set, and there's 4 different gnomes, and then the toadstool, and then a few sentiments. And some of them can be used for things other than Christmas. So your kindness does not go unnoticed. You know me so well. Those don't necessarily have to be Christmas. And then here are the dies. So on this card, I just used some of the designer series paper and then die cut the little gnome. And if you look at the dies again, these solid dies here, there's the beard, the hat, the feet, and then the nose. So the solid ones just cut out a gnome that you just assemble. And then I emboss the background here. For this card, I actually cut out so the toadstool came from this paper, and there's a die that cuts that out, and then there's a die to cut out this little gnome, and he's from this paper right here. And then I fussy cut the little fox. And actually, I lie. I have a cut that will scan in the images and then cut them out. So that's what I did. So I'll show you the rest of the papers. So that's the one that I used on the first card. And then this is the paper that I cut the little fox from. There's 2. There's one that faces this way, and then there's one that faces the other way, like on my card. And then there's some cute little bunnies. In fact, I think I put a bunny inside. Yeah, I put a little bunny. You can see him. But I put a bunny inside. And there's some birds. The cute little deer. Then there's this one that has the little scene and the snowflakes on the back. And this pretty snowflake one, and then there's the toadstools again, and this is what I used for this card. So I cut out one of these little scenes, so that was fun. So this one, with the little pocket, I used the heart punches, the pair of the heart punches, the scalloped one and the plain one, and it's just a 6x6 piece of designer series paper, and it folds up. I was saying to my team, it's like when you try and close a box by just kind of tucking the alternate sides in, whoops, like that. So, and it goes together really well. And you could put a label on the other side. You probably wouldn't want to mail it like this. You'd put it in another envelope, obviously. So that's the cards. So this little treat holder here, everyone was really surprised at how easy it was to make. So I thought I would do some, change it up a bit and do some using different sweets and show you what I made and show you how to make one. So it's very fun. and easy. Okay, so I got a bit carried away and made a bunch. Let me see. It's quite a big one. All right, so there's the Gnome one. This is the one we're going to make today, and it's using the Santa Express Designer Series paper. Isn't that fun? And you can see it's bigger. So you can make these in any size you like. And then let me show you some of the others I made. Like I said, I got a bit carried away. So here's some others using the same paper. I have one more. This is using the same Designer Series paper. So these ones I made actually using cardstock, but these ones are actually made from the Designer Series paper. And because they're small, they don't need to be quite so sturdy. And then I made these that I thought would be really fun little engagement party or bridal shower little favors, and you could put something small in them. So these are using the Splendid Day Designer Series paper. So I'll bring those back at the end and tell you the dimensions of the different ones, but let's go ahead and make one now so that you can see how easy they are to make. So like I say, I'm going to make a version of this. I'm going to change the colors around and do a green base. So let me get my cardstock and trimmer. And first of all, let me show you the Designer Series paper. Now this suite, I have the paper, but I don't have the stamps or the dies. So there's obviously stamps and dies that go with this, and there are dies that cut out these little trains, and there's some fun sentiments, and there's actually a sentiment that says ho ho ho, but as I didn't have it, I had to come up with something else that would work. So I used a different stamp set, and I'll show you that when we get to it, and put Be Jolly. So there's the trains, and you've got stripes on the back, and then here's the train cars, and we've got ho 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 on the back, which is, and I used this on one of the little treat holders. We've got presents, and I used that one too. We've got kind of dots on the back. Oh, I've got two ho ho ho's, I guess. I might be missing one then. Some pretty trees, love the colors of this. And kind of screen and snowflakes. And then this is a fun one because you can cut it and make put it on a slimline card. So it would work, in fact, it would probably work on this one. Obviously not necessarily the right color, but yeah, see how that fits on there perfectly. So that would make a nice slimline card. So, and I think I might be missing one because I've got two of the same, but never mind. I expect some of you have this paper anyway. So that's the Designer Series paper. So for this treat holder, let me see if I can zoom out just a little bit. Let's see if I can zoom out on here so that you can see my trimmer. Okay, so I've got a whole piece of cardstock here at 8.5 by 11, and this will actually make two of this size. We're just going to use half a sheet, and this will make two. So I'm going to score it in half, just like as if I were making a top folding card base. So I'm going to score it at 5.5, and then cut it down the middle. And like I say, then this would make two. Or I could make one treat holder and one just regular top folding card. Let me see. So I can do this straight. So then I'll cut this. All right. So now I've got, I can use this one for my treat holder, and then I've got another one here that I can use for just a top folding card base or another treat holder. Now, what we need to do is a little bit more scoring. So you can do this a number of ways. You can use your trimmer, or you can just use a scoring tool like this and a ruler, on a mat, however you prefer, but I'll show you how to do it on a trimmer. So this is 4 1/4, and I need to find the halfway mark. Let me pull this down a little bit. So that would be 2 1/8, right? And I will use a pencil for now so that you can see the marks, but sometimes I just close this and just make a little kind of notch here with this tool, but I will use a pencil just so that you can see a little bit easier. I'm a bit crooked, I think. There we go. So I'll just make a little mark there, and then I'll turn it around and 2 1/8 and make another mark there. Now what we need to do is do a diagonal score line. So I'm going to line up my pencil mark in my cutting track, and then my score line. So just like that, and then we will score. And then I'm just going to rotate it a little bit to the left, the top to the left, and line up the bottom pencil mark in the track and do the score line again. So just take your time to get them lined up. And then I'm going to rotate this 180 degrees and do exactly the same with this side. So it's very easy. And then just swivel it a little bit and do the other one. Right, so let's put the trimmer away for right now and burnish these. Now I'm just going to burnish with my bone folder. And the other side. But before I assemble it, you may have noticed that I have this embossed, dry embossed with embossing folder. Now this is completely optional, you don't need to do this, but I think it does just add some fun texture to it. So I'm gonna grab, but I recommend that you score and burnish your score lines first before you emboss, because it's a bit tricky to score after the embossing. So I recommend you do it in this order. And I've got my embossing folder here that I'm going to use. I'm going to use this one. It's called Whimsical Woodland 3D, and it's got the trees. So I am going to just put half of this in. So I'm going to line up the score line basically with the bottom of the embossing folder and close it up and kind of make sure that it's even. And then I'm just going to turn around. My die cut machine is right behind me. I'm going to run this through really quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have this beautifully embossed, and you can't see the score lines anymore at this point, but they're still there, funnily enough. So if you just gently fold where you think they are, you'll see they're still actually there, which is cool, even though you can't really see them. But that's why I suggest you score and you burnish them really well before you do that step. Okay. So that's that. And now all you do is simply fold up like this, and there is your box. So see how easy that is? So to keep that together, to close it, I'm going to grab a punch. So this is, I think it's an 1/8 of an inch punch. I was looking for one that's I have one that's slightly bigger, but I have misplaced it. So this one will work for now. So you want to just close one side. and this is kind of your center point. So I'm just going to eyeball this really and just make my hole just a little bit lower than that, and it'll go through both layers. So just like that, and then I'm going to open this side and close the other, and we'll just do exactly the same like that. It doesn't matter if they're not quite, I've got one a little bit lower than the other, but that's okay. And then when you go to close it, make sure that you've got the seam at the back, and obviously the embossed, that's easy to know which way because you're going to have your embossed layer on the outside. Now we need to put some ribbon through. Now you can do a couple of ways. You can see on this one I tied a bow at the top, but on this one I did kind of like if you wanted to hang it on the tree or hang it on a gift maybe. So I just tied a loop. So you can do whichever you like. Let's see, where's my ribbon? And I've got some of this Real Red and Garden Green combo pack, and I'm going to use the Real Red. So I'll grab that. Oops, I'm right at the end, so hopefully I've got enough. Let's see if I can pull this off. Let's see. I might be long enough without, oh, there we go. All right, now a little trick. So in my team meeting on Monday, I was kind of struggling to feed this through the holes. So what you would do is if you were doing it just manually, you're going to do the front panel first, and then through the back, and then through the other back, and then through the front. Okay, and then pull them all. So you'd go, let me just show you, you'll go through the front and pull it through, and then you'll go through the back. But you really kind of have to do one at a time. It's hard to do them all together. Oops. So then you'll do the back. Anyway, you'll do the back and then this back and then the front and then pull them all together. But I have, so on my team meeting on Monday night, one of my team, or actually she's about to be a new team member, Louisa, she had this tool called a beading tool or a beading threader, and she was showing us that, and it reminded me that I have these little things. They're called Dentec floss threaders, and they're designed for when you're flossing your teeth. You thread your floss through and then you thread the needle. It's kind of like a little needle through your teeth, but it works really well for this kind of thing too. So you get a ton in a packet, and they're just these really thin kind of like nylon thread things. So you can just thread your ribbon through here, and this is way easier. And then we'll close it up, and I should be able to do all the holes at once. So we'll just go through inside. There we go. And look at that. It's so much easier, isn't it? I kind of save these, although they're disposable. I figure I might as well save them and reuse them. So I think, shall I do a bow, or I will do a bow. I'll see if I can tie a reasonable bow. So everybody's very quiet today. I have a few people joining us. Who else is there? Let me know. Just tie a bow. All right. There's the bow. Just trim that off a little bit. I just had enough, didn't I? All right, so now we can decorate. The fun part. So I have some of it already done, so you didn't have to sit and watch me fussy cut. Because like I say, I don't have the, I don't have the bundle. So what I've done is I've cut a circle from using the, see, do I have them here? Yes. So I cut a circle using the Stylish Shapes, and it's the second to largest circle. And then this, it's cut from this real red and white glimmer paper. So you get, let's see how many sheets. You get 8. So you get 4 red and 4 white glimmer paper sheets in here. So I cut that from there. And then I fussy cut my train. So there is a die that cuts this out, but like I said, I don't have the bundle. I've gone kind of crooked again, haven't I? My phone is just, it won't stay put. It's weird. So let's, so that those are going to go on the front, and then we need to do the stamping. So as I said, there is a sentiment in the stamp set that says ho ho ho, but I don't have that. So I decided to pull out this stamp set right here, Jingle Jingle Jingle, and do so I was going to do 'Tis the Season to be Jolly, but I couldn't figure out how to put that on so it looked right. So I did Be Jolly, and I'll show you how I did the bee. So let's grab some white cardstock and do a little bit of stamping here. So I need my real red. I think we're going to use real red as we've got a green background. So here's my real red. And then I've got my stamps. So you get, with the stamp set, you get 2 of each that you can layer, or you can do them individually. So you could stamp Jolly, Believe, and Jingle and color them in whatever colors you liked. And you can also stamp these separately, but then you can layer them too. So that's what I decided to do. So what I found you can do either way, either stamp first, but I think it's a little bit easier to do the inside one first. So I will just ink up my Jolly and stamp that. But see, you could use that just by itself, but I'm going to do the outline. I'll see if I can do it right. I'm going to stand up, and then I find it easier just to do this, and you just line it up and lower it really slowly, adjusting as you go. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So I also need to stamp. So how I did the Be Jolly is I did the first 2 letters of Believe. So I have that also. So I've got these both on the same block. So let's do, and I don't need to do the whole word actually. So I can do it. I should have done this the other end, but that's okay. So I'm going to do the B-E. We'll just do it exactly the same way, but I don't need to ink up the whole thing because I'm only going to use the B and the E. And then I'll take that off the block and do the outline. So again, I'll stand up, see if I can do this. I seem to do it down a little. I need to go up a little bit, but that's okay. It's pretty close. So then we'll just cut these, and I actually have a B and an E already cut, so you don't have to watch me do that. But I'll show you how I do. I'm just going to cut this, the most of it out. And then I'll show you what I find the easiest way. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Zoom. And I'm sorry about my crooked, it just keeps sliding. I'm not sure why. So what I do is I cut all the way along the bottom first. I have to get rid of, I have an overlay over my, there we go. So I go all the way along the bottom. So just like this. So there's not a die that goes with these, and you could just leave it in a strip. You don't have to fussy cut it like this, but I thought it was it look nicer. And I have a little trick for sticking these onto the box that I will show you. So I'm just going to kind of go all the way around the edge first, along the top. I find just going around the edge saves a little bit of time, and it's easier because you're kind of holding on to a bigger piece of cardstock rather than you know, lots of little fiddly pieces. So I do kind of as much as I can while everything's still joined together, just because it's easier to hold on to. And then you can do the little final finishing touches once you've cut them apart. So I hope that makes sense. So on my team meeting, like I say, I make a packet every month that I send out ahead of time. And then at the end of our meeting, those who want to hang around stay, and we put the projects together. And then those that can't stay, they can watch the recording later. But we always have something that's got like three or four cards or items to make. Something different every time. So this, we're almost in November, and in October there's actually a starter kit promotion where you can choose $155 worth of products for $99. Normally it's $125, so there's an extra $35 of products you can choose. And if you sign up to get one, you could become one of my team and join us every month for our team meeting and do the make and takes. And I have a really nice bunch of ladies, and we've all become good friends, and some of us will all get to meet each other in November when we go to the Stampin' Up! National Conference, the on stage event. So that's going to be fun. Some of us haven't met before. But we have a Facebook page, and we do card challenges, and I do a little Facebook Live every week for my team with just weekly updates. I'm not doing a very good job on these. They're not perfect, but that's okay. So yeah, it's a great group, and we share inspiration on the pages. We share birthdays and Stampin' Up! Anniversaries and things like that, and it's just, like I say, a really nice group. So if you fancy trying that, and you can just do it for as long or as little time as you like, you don't have to do it as a business, you can just enjoy the discount that you get. But let me know, it's just that promotion. You can join any time, but all through October there's an extra $30 that you can get. So anyway, so these are going to go along the bottom, and a little trick to put them on, I'm going to kind of line them up. In fact, let me get my grid paper, because that helps me to kind of see that they're straight. So I'm going to line these up kind of how I want them on the bottom of the box. So I'm going to do them a little crooked, so they're just kind of a little fun and whimsical. Let's do that one. In fact, I think I'll do that one that way, that one that way, and that one like that. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this here and make sure that I haven't gone too wide, and that looks pretty good. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some low-tack masking paper. You can use washi tape. You could actually probably use this kind of tape if you maybe take a little bit of the stick off. Hi Kate. Oh, there's a few other people. Hi Pauline, good to see you. Hi Kate. Kate's my friend well, she's from England, but she lives in Germany now, but I used to work with her a long time ago in London. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip that's long enough, and I'm just going to tap it onto my pants just to get a little bit more of the tack off. And then I'm going to stick it across here like this. Then I'm going to turn it over and put a little, and you could cut the center out of the O if you wanted to, but I was too lazy to do that. Then I'm just going to put a touch of liquid glue. Don't put too much because you don't want it squidging out. It's a technical term, squidge. Then I can lift this up, grab my box, and I can just line it up however I want. And it's much easier than trying to space it out actually on the box. So I'll do that like that, and then we'll just let it set there to dry. And while that's drying, I'll put my Santa onto this glimmer paper. I'm going to put it on with dimensionals. So let me grab some. See. Hi, Karen from Virginia, from way across the other side of the country. Hey, your first time. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I like new people. Margaret says, neat way of picking up and keeping them. Yes, yeah, it's a good little trick, isn't it? Because it's hard trying to line them up, and because the box is sloping, they just slide off. I mean, you could do it before you assembled the box, I guess. That would be, if you weren't going to use that technique, that would be an easier way to do it. But this way works pretty well. It's pretty easy. All right, so let's put this onto foil. Just stick him in the center like that, and then this should be dry, so I'm going to peel it off really carefully. And because I took a little bit of the tack off, I don't have to worry about it sticking. So that's good. My wire's hanging off the edge just a little. I could have gone a little bit to the left, but that's fine. I'm happy with that. Thank you, Kate. She says she loves the tips. All right, then we're going to put this this guy on. So I can just use a little liquid glue as I've got it out. And actually, liquid glue is a good idea if you're putting it on embossing stuff that's been embossed, because it tends to stick a little bit better than your dry adhesive. So we'll set this right here, and I'm just going to tuck him under the L a little bit. I kind of like that. And then I already cut out the B and the E, so you wouldn't have to suffer through and watch me do that. So I'll put a little bit of glue on the back of these. My dog just came in to see me. She's back from her vet appointment with my husband, so she's coming to tell me she's home. Hi, Tally. And tweezers are a good thing for this. So if you have a pair of tweezers, I have the these called Stampin' Up tweezers that come in the embossing kit. So I'm just gonna pick these up, and then I can just place my B. And you could do the tape with these too, but you don't really need to, just for 2 letters. Put those there. And I like them if they're hanging off a little bit. You could also put these on with dimensionals if you wanted. My train has popped up. All right, and then the only other thing is some embellishments. So let me see, where did I put my, here's some rhinestones. So you can put rhinestones wherever you like. Doesn't really need it actually, because there's quite a lot going on, but you can always add some. You can never have too much bling and sparkle, right? So what I did is I put a little one on the end of his hat. He's got a little pom-pom on his hat. So I put one there, and then I put one on each of these little end of this little swirl. And you could put them in the center of the wheels. I just kind of put an extra couple. I put one up here and here. Oops, I'm off camera, sorry. Not paying attention. And we'll just do one more down here. All right, so that's the box. So what do you think? Let me bring in the red one too. There's the red one. So, and I meant to show you actually, I meant to talk about filling it, and I meant to grab some candy. Let's see, do I have any candy up here? I don't. I meant to bring up some of my Halloween candy, but let me just untie this again. So to fill it, you can put your ribbon in, but not pull it tight all the way, and then you can just drop some candy in. Obviously it's not going to go all the way to the bottom if it's chunky, but you could definitely fit a few pieces of candy in there. You could put what else could you put? You could put some things like lip balms or lipsticks or gift cards, jewelry. Let's see what else, any other ideas what you could put in. But definitely some candy would fit. And I meant to bring up some Halloween candy from downstairs I can't do my bow again, to show you how much would fit in. But I'll take a picture. Afterwards I'll fill it, and then I'll take a picture of what I put in so that you can see how much goes in. Right, so that's that. So those are the two big ones. Let me bring back the other ones and tell you the dimensions. So these, again, we're using a half sheet of cardstock. So this is 4 1/4 along here, and then 5 1/2 top to bottom. This one, the little gnome, let me grab my ruler. This one's a bit smaller. And I tried it first this size, but my gnome was a bit lost. I think if I'd done the die cut gnome, which I had on the other card, I think this would have been, you see this one is quite a bit bigger. I think that would have fit on this size better, but yeah, I think this would have worked on here better, but it was this gnome was a bit small. So this one is 3 1/2 by 4 1/4, and I'll put the dimensions afterwards. I'll type them up afterwards and add them. Then these three, 1, 2, 3. So these I've used that green glimmer paper, and then on this one I've used the Evening Evergreen glimmer paper. This comes in a pack with, it's a 12 by 12. These are 6 by 6 sheets of glimmer paper. The Evening Evergreen comes in a 12 by 12 pack with a sheet of the Evening Evergreen and a sheet of vanilla. It's really pretty. So these ones are a bit smaller still. These are 3 by 4. So they're getting smaller. And then these ones are the smallest. So these you wouldn't be able to fit much in, just something tiny. But I think they're really cute. I think they'd be fun for like a little bridal shower or something. And these ones are measure these. This one is 2 1/2 by 3. Yes, 2 1/2 by 3 for these. So like I say, I'll write the dimensions. Let's just pull one of each so that you can see. I'll write the dimensions down afterwards so that you can see. Line them all up in a row so that you can see the difference. But yeah, I had fun making them really quick and easy. You know what I was going to do? I was going to add some rhinestones onto these, so I'll do that before I take pictures. But here you go, you can see them all in a row, see the size difference. So anyway, hope you like those. So you can, I'll list all the products that I used afterwards, and you can go up to my website, which is up here. Whoop. And that's my host code. I have a new host code because I did a BOGO sale last weekend and I closed it out. So the current one. So that's my new host code, but you can go to my website to order all the products. And don't forget about the join promotion if you have any interest in joining my team, and along with a bunch of other lovely ladies, then let me know and we can talk about that. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I've had fun hanging out with you today, although you're a little bit quieter than usual. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next week. Have a great rest of the week. Bye, everybody.